What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NeverState.com, and today's video is going to be all about a mindset challenge because for the remainder of this week, my wife and I are leaving Thursday morning, really early Thursday morning, and we're headed to Colorado for an adventure because it's been a while since I've been on an adventure. And one of my favorite things to do is pretty much book a plane trip and then not really know what the plan is and kind of figure it out as we go. So that's what we're going to do for a couple days in Colorado, Utah, just in the mountains, national park kind of area. So we're going to do that, right? But that means at the end of my week, probably going to miss 2 of my workouts. I'm almost definitely going to miss 2 of my workouts. And when you're on the road, like, we're probably going to end up staying in a hotel somewhere, but I'm probably not going to have access to a normal gym. I'm not going to have access to heavy weights, my strongman equipment, anything like that. I'm most likely going to have maybe a barbell with very little amount of weights and probably some dumbbells, most likely, right? So what I'm going to do is share with you guys a mindset challenge that I'm going to throw in at the end of my week that's going to work my entire body. It's going to burn a lot of fat. It's going to be absolutely brutal, but it is going to kind of take up for what I'm missing by the end of the week. So I thought some of you guys might want to find this interesting in case you're in the same situation because you left on vacation or you got somewhere for work or whatever the case may be. If you guys don't have a full week of workouts, you can always throw something like this in. Just as a warning though, this is going to make you incredibly sore. Now the entire idea of this is to get a really good workout in with minimal place to move around, minimal equipment, and minimal weight to actually move. So it's gonna have to be a lot of reps. It's gonna have to be pretty intense. So what I decided to do was combine 2 things that I love and I hate equally at the same time. The first one is going to be the Tabata protocol. If you guys don't know what the Tabata protocol is, all that means you pick an exercise. So let's say push-ups. Now you're gonna do as many push-ups as you possibly can for 20 seconds, just flat out, 20 seconds. And then you're gonna take 10 seconds to rest. And then you go right back on and you have 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. You do this for 8 rounds, which ends up being 4 total minutes of work, and it is a brutal 4 minutes. So you could throw any exercise, all types of things. This is used very, very widespread and is just an awesome way to get a lot of work done in a little bit of time. So I wanted to use that and combine it with probably one of my most hated things in the entire world, which is barbell complexes. Now, again, I might not have access to a barbell, so I can do this dumbbells, but the idea of them is that you do 8 exercises for 8 reps each. But the problem is that you can't release the barbell until all the reps of all exercises are done. So you're gonna choose 8 different barbell exercises, big compound exercises, not like curls. You're doing things like cleans, deadlifts, squats, those types of exercises. You're gonna choose 8 of those, and then you're gonna do 8 reps of each. But once you pick up that barbell and start, you can't stop until it's done. Those are just the rules. And traditionally you do that for 8 rounds. Now that is death, especially if you throw in like a 400-meter chaser at the end of it or something like that. Absolutely brutal. However, I wanted to combine those 2 things to make what I affectionately am now going to call a Tabata complex. So the idea of the Tabata complex is that you take the exercise selection like you would on a complex, but you stick it to the time restraints of a Tabata protocol. So basically what I want to do is choose 8 big compound exercises, and then we're gonna throw it in that Tabata method without releasing the bar, and it's going to be death. Okay, so for this, you can throw in just about any compound exercise that you want, but for me personally, this is what I'm gonna try out this weekend. So I'm gonna start out with 20 seconds of as many deadlifts as I can possibly do. Now, how many that actually ends up being has a lot to do with how much weight that I'm gonna be using. And guys, I want you to keep the weight very, very light for this, especially at the beginning, because we're gonna progressively get heavier. So very, very light at the beginning. I'm planning on using something on the lines of like 65 to 95 pounds for my first set of this. Also, you have 20 seconds of work where you're trying to get as many reps as possible, but you do want to shoot for at least 8 reps to kind of stick to that complex type of thing. Now, 8 reps in 20 seconds with a really light weight is not hard to do, but just trust me on this, by the end of this, you're going to wish that you would have went lighter and that 8 reps was less reps than 8. All right, so again, to kick this thing off, we're starting out with 20 seconds of as many deadlifts as you could possibly do. Once those deadlifts are done, you're going to stand there with the bar in your hands for 10 seconds of rest. Yes, you are resting with that bar in your hands, because again, remember, you're in a complex, you can't release that thing. Immediately, once that 10 seconds of rest is done, then I want you to go with 20 seconds of as many power cleans as you possibly can. Power cleans, hand cleans, you're just trying to get that bar from near the bottom of your legs to the front rack position. But once you're done with that horribleness, now you have 10 seconds of rest with that bar in the front rack position. Once your 10 seconds of rest is up, you move on to front squats. Now 20 seconds of front squats is never fun, but especially at this point in the complex, it's gonna be even less. But after you're done that 20 seconds, you're gonna sit there and rest with that bar in the front rack position again for your 10 seconds, and then you're gonna move on to an overhead press. Now, you can do this strict, you can do this with leg drive, whatever you wanna do, and remember that most likely the weight that you start out with the bar is gonna be determined by this overhead press, because this is gonna be the weakest movement out of any of it, especially when you're in a fatigue state like this. So now you have 20 seconds of overhead press. Any type of way that you need to get that bar locked out above your head is completely fine. On your last rep, I want you to drop that bar down to the back of your head, just like on a back squat, and you can sit there with the bar racked on your back for the next 10 seconds of rest. Once that 10 seconds is up though, then you're going into back squats, as many as you can for 20 seconds. After that, you have 10 seconds of rest with that bar on your back again. It's a beautiful day. After that, you go into 10 good mornings, really trying to get your hamstrings to wind up and actually do the pulling in the motion like I talked about in my hamstring video. After that, what I want you to do is go into another set of 10 overhead presses. And again, this is probably gonna involve a lot of leg drive. You're gonna be doing a whole lot to get this done, but get 20 seconds of that done and at least 8 reps. But once you're done that, you get 10 seconds of rest, but now I drop it down to the front rack position. Since that is our 7th exercise, you're gonna be at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which means that you have one more station left, which for me, I'm gonna drop down to a Zercher squat. You can do a bent over row, you can do a lot of things here, but for me, you might as well finish with like the most painful thing when you're the worst off. So I'm gonna drop that bar down to the crook of my elbows and drop in for 20 seconds of Zercher squats, getting as many as I can. I'm dropping that bar and I'm gonna rest 1 minute. But during this minute, you have a lot to do. I would encourage you to get something to drink. You're probably wondering why there's not enough oxygen in the room. And I also want you to add either a 2.5 or a 5-pound plate to each side of that barbell, depending on how easy that last complete round was. So you have a minute of rest, and then you're gonna grab a hold of that barbell again, and you're gonna have another 4 minutes before that thing touches the ground. Now, traditionally for a complex, you have 8 rounds of this, which would be 40 total minutes, because it's a 4-minute round with the barbell of work, and then you have a 1-minute rest between each. If you're going up with 2.5 increments or 5-pound increments, trust me, this would be, it's going to be horrendous. It's going to be absolutely, it's gonna be a really good time. What it really is a gut check that is a full body workout. It's gonna help you get a pump, it's gonna help you burn some fat. You're definitely gonna get some conditioning in, and it's just an easy way to get a lot of work done. If you guys don't wanna go for a full 40 minutes, just go as many rounds as you can, right? It's a 4-minute block with a 1-minute rest. See if you can make it 12 minutes. If you make it 12 minutes, see if you can get the next block. If you make that, see if you can get the next block. Just take it one thing at a time. When you guys look at this, it becomes so overwhelming when you pick up that barbell and you realize that it's gonna be 4 minutes before you put that thing down, and you're gonna think that you're not gonna make it. But guys, this is about those incremental little decisions where you have 1 second to make a decision whether you were going to quit or you're gonna persevere. And if you choose to quit, you don't get to take that back, right? Like, you're done. Give it 1 more second, try 1 more rep, try 1 more cluster. If you're on the squats, get through the overhead presses. If you're on the overhead presses, get through the front squats. Get through whatever your next thing is, and then reassess again. But don't make a snap judgment decision just because you're in real pain for a second. Just say, maybe I can last 3 more seconds. Maybe I can last 1 more rep, 1 more step, 1 more whatever. And trust me, that is how progress is made. If you just take the time to make those little incremental decisions, that is how a journey of 1,000 miles, whole 1 step kind of stupid thing. Look, there's truth to it. Guys, this is just something I'm gonna be using this weekend because I'm out of my element. I'm not gonna be doing what I normally get to do. And that's not an excuse to take off. And it's also not an excuse to not put in hard work. I could easily go to a hotel gym and do some buys and tries like most people do because they're like, well, I only have 50-pound dumbbells, I can't do anything else. You can do a lot, especially with testing your mind and testing your will. So if you guys do want to give it a try, I hope that helps you out. If you don't want to give it a try, I completely understand, because that is a lot of suffering, and most people with a normal civilized brain think it is a bad idea. But to those of you who have a little bit of savage in you and you run in a situation where maybe you don't have your workouts, or you're stuck in a hotel, or you're on a beach on vacation and you need something to do, there you go. I really hope this will help some of you out. I'm gonna go continue walking those little guys until I catch up with you later in the week. Go out to something amazing in your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I'll see you then.